Hi, welcome to T-Way Airborne, and this module is all about defining my big idea. So it's going to explain to you exactly what a big idea is. We're going to explain why it's so important to have a big idea, how to define your big idea for you and your business, and how you're going to achieve it. So you're going to realize why it's so important that a big idea should be the first thing that we're working on when we work on building a business for you and with you that is going to work without you eventually. So let's get started. So how do we really get clear about why we're in our business and where we want our business to take us and creating the lifestyle that we want, and use that to get the drive that we need to get the momentum so we'll avoid that feeling of being stuck and overwhelmed and not knowing what to do next. So we want you to focus on growing your business and to get it to where you want it to be. It's going to provide you with the tools to become super clear on what the life is that you want to be like. So we want you to enable you to start to define the business model that's going to get you there, and also to get away from that feeling of just working hard every day and not really getting where you want to get. So you can get really excited about where you're heading. You can become really confident about where you're heading and start enjoying your business again. Because when you're super clear on your big idea and why you're doing all this and where you're going, you're going to feel like you're making progress, and you will enjoy being in your business, and you're going to enjoy every day. And that is so important. So the problem at the moment is that you're overwhelmed and you've been doing the business for a while, but you've lost direction and you're getting confused, and you're doing everything that you think is right, but you just don't seem to be getting the results that you really want. What happens if this continues is there's never enough time, never enough cash flow, and you get run down and you start to feel really tired. And you start to lose focus on why you're in the business. Why have I done this? I could be earning more money, working less hours, spending more time with my family, with my friends, and spending more time on me if I had a job. So why am I doing all this? And we know that if we don't get some passion and excitement back, we're just not going to achieve our dreams. We're going to give up. We're going to quit running a business. And we're only in a business that's it's like owning a job. The business owns you and the business owns your time. And we want to get out of that. And we know that if we don't get out of that, that's where we're going to end up be. We might as well have a job. We're not going to get the financial freedom that we want from our business, and we're not going to get what we originally went into business for, whatever those reasons were. So it's so important that we work on your big idea. So it's all about your why. When you define your big idea, you're going to get reconnected with why you're in business and what the business is going to let you do and let you be and let you have in your life. And you're going to get excited again about your business. You'll get up every day knowing you're moving towards your big idea, and the big idea you've got is pretty exciting. So even though there's still challenges, you're going to love every day in your business. And at the end, you're going to know where you're heading. You're going to have clarity. And when you've got clarity, you make much better decisions. Making decisions is so much easier when you know where you're heading, and you can weigh up which decision is going to head you in the direction of your big idea, because if it's not where you want to be going. So you also become driven. You know you're going to achieve your dreams. You know your business is going to provide you with the freedom and the choices that you want for you and your family. And the clearer you are on the big idea, the more excited you'll be and the more drive you'll have. And drive is what will get you through every challenge on your journey. So are you going to do what it takes to get clear on your big idea? Let's go. So there's 5 principles we're going to go through on a big idea, and then you can access and download the worksheets if you haven't already and start working on your big idea. Define and refine it. Get clearer and clearer on what it is. So what we're going to cover is, what is a big idea? Why do you need a big idea? We're going to help you define your big idea, and the big idea for you and a big idea for your business. We're going to begin with the end in mind, and that's how we're going to create it. And then we're going to talk about how you achieve your big idea. How do I get from where I am now to my big idea? So we've got a quote from Yogi Bear. If you do not know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else. So this is a pretty, it's a Pretty quirky little saying, but it's so true. At the base of it is vital principle for business that gives you 5 critical outcomes. So what we want you to focus on, it provides clear direction. Having a big idea, you're not going to end up someplace else. Big idea provides your life and business with purpose. It reminds you, why am I doing this? What's this doing? Why does it make me happy? What do I want to achieve? Who do I want to help? It gives you so much more meaning and purpose in your business. It provides emotional leverage. So you can link into your big idea when times are tough, when things are not going the way you want, and what do you need to do next to move forward? You can fall back on your big idea. It gives you something to be emotionally attached to, and it switches on your creative imagination. So we're going to talk a bit about creative imagination through the program because it's something that we just don't use enough of. We don't think deeply enough about what's happening in our world or in our business to come up with the solutions to the issues that we're facing. So what are the most important things that you want to be, have, and do? Okay, many people define their big idea clearly, and that's essential to achieve a major accomplishment. But for lots of other people, most people in small business, it's very vague and they just do not have a clear idea of where they're heading. So that puts us into limbo land. That puts us into what we call goldfish in a bowl mode, where you're just going round and round in circles all day, every day, doing the same things, but not really heading anywhere, not really getting where you want to be. So we want to do some exploring on what's your big idea. We don't want you to be a goldfish in a bowl. We want you to determine where you're heading, and then we're going to work with you every step of the way to move towards your big idea. There's a quote by Bob Conklin that we use often in Tiwai, and have a think about this. Make no little plans, for there is no magic in them to stir one's soul. So what stirs your soul? Why did you get into business? What's it doing for you? What's it going to do for you? Who are you going to help? Because entrepreneurs think differently to other people. Entrepreneurs know what they want. They know what their big idea is. And they know that that's essential to drive them forward. Think of people like Richard Branson, like Elon Musk. They're very clear about what they're here for. They're very clear about what they want to achieve. But they don't know all the steps of how to get there. But the one thing is they're very clear on where they want to be. Elon Musk, his big idea is he wants to have people inhabiting Mars because he believes that we are going to mess up this planet and we're going to need somewhere else to live. So he's focusing on the steps it's going to take people to inhabit Mars. So if you have a read of his book, it's a fabulous book, and you'll see what it means to have a big idea and to be driven and all the things he's doing to achieve that big idea. So entrepreneurs think differently. They don't follow the business plan as such. Business plans have 2 really good uses. One is to raise capital when you need capital in your business, and the other thing is to obtain a loan. So we say there's a third thing. The third thing is that it sits in the bottom drawer and gathers dust because it's usually out of date within a few months of it being put together at great expense and great time. So entrepreneurs know, they know their big idea, they don't know all the steps, but they work on the next logical step. That is their daily business plan in action. What do I have to do today to work towards my next logical step? So we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. So if entrepreneurs know that if they don't have clarity where they're going, they're going to go nowhere or they're going to go around in circles. And you'll find that the successful people have always got a clear big idea. So that's the concept of Tiwai, the core concept. What we want you to do is develop what your big idea is, and we're going to give you some tools on how to do that. So what is a big idea? Napoleon Hill said in Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So we need our minds to be focused on what our big idea is. Big idea is a major outcome that is as big as you can imagine and is the best thing you can think of that you want to achieve. Most importantly, it's something that makes you feel excited in the anticipation of it becoming a reality. It's got to stir something inside you to say, this is what I really want. This is what I've always wanted. Because when it's exciting enough, you will create the drive to make it happen. So when you're thinking about your big idea, think about what it is for you. Is it doing something outstanding in sports, writing a book, making a movie, a major family goal, getting a degree, charity work, helping people? Or within your business, is it something about creating something that's brand new? Is it about providing the best service in a particular area because you want to help people? So what is that drives you? We want to think about what's important, because it'll give you the direction and it gives you something to reach out for and live for. So it's a little bit about that thing about meaning. What's giving you meaning? So when we start thinking about a big idea, we look at two types of big ideas. One is a big idea for you and one is a big idea for your business, because the big idea for your business is going to be what generates the funding, the time, the freedom for you to achieve the big idea for you. So we're going to talk about that a little bit further. So most business owners don't even have a big idea. They've got weak longings that they believe that if everything goes right, they might just get there. And people don't let themselves dream because they fall back into, I've got to be realistic, or, that only happens to other people. And when we're thinking like that, we're thinking with limitations. And we think about but it won't happen, but it can't happen, but I need the money, but I haven't got the time. We don't want you to think with any buts, okay? We want you to take those limitations away and think about, for a change, start thinking about you. We don't spend enough time thinking about what we really want. So why do you need a big idea? So we've already said that when you've got a big idea, it can be the difference between a successful business and a business that's struggling. Because a big idea can bring out the best in you. It keeps you striving, it keeps you reaching in ways that a small goal will never have you doing. Something little won't stir the soul. Something big will get you excited. So most business owners don't realize how important having a big idea is, and that the business is going to be the vehicle that gets them the lifestyle. So we want to look at it as what gives you meaning. What gives you meaning in your life? Aristotle said man is a goal-seeking animal, and his life only has meaning when he's reaching out and striving to achieve a worthwhile ideal. So what is the worthwhile ideal in your business? What is a worthwhile ideal in your life? Does your life have meaning? So if it does, that's fantastic. That means you've got the seeds of your big idea, and this is going to be easy. But if it doesn't, I want you to think about what would need to happen for you to have some more meaning in your business or your life. Where do you most want to go, most want to be, most want to have, or most want to do? This will start us getting some clarity in our thinking. So I want you to focus on what's the outcome you want that will lead to clarity. Without this, we're just going to be thinking it's hazy. Our thinking is hazy, and our results will be hazy. Zig Ziglar, one of his quotes, said, you can either be a wandering generality or a meaningful specific. Okay, so a wandering generality is when you are just wandering around, you don't really have any idea where you're going, and we call it you're a goldfish in a bowl. Meaningful specific is you know exactly what you want, you've got it nice and clear, you know the detail, and you're off. So can you see the difference? So how would you rate yourself? Are you currently a wandering generality, or are you a meaningful specific? So now we're going to talk about defining your big idea. The trouble with most people is they don't think big enough. So there's two parts, as I said before, two parts to your big idea. Firstly, there's a big idea for you. It's all about you. What's the lifestyle you want? Where do you want to live? What sort of toys do you want to have? What sort of travel do you want to do? What sort of holidays do you want to have? Where do you want to be spending your days? What do you want to be doing? That's the big idea for you, the best possible lifestyle that you can imagine. So then there's the big idea for your business. So the big idea for your business is all about creating the financial freedom and the choices for you from having a successful business that will make your big idea for you come true. So we really need a big idea for both. So in your worksheet, you're going to see that there's a section on big idea for you and big idea for your business. And I want you to go through that and have a really good think about it. The outcomes that you're going to come up with are the best ideas you can think of for your business, so to inject satisfaction and purpose into every working day. And same for the big idea for you. What would your ideal day be? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? So start making some notes on this. Sounds pretty simple, but only a small percentage of people in business even start to do this. And as you know, only a small percentage of people in business ever reach the state of being wealthy. We reckon it's about 5% of people get to the top. And out of that, 3% are financially independent and 2% are really wealthy. So these are usually entrepreneurs. These are usually people who have had a big idea. They are people that have been so driven that they've done what's needed to be done in their business to get to that level. They've been driven by a big idea, either for their business or for them, and usually for both, because there's an outcome that they want. So when we work with the T-Way strategies, we can put them together to help you achieve that. But we need to know where you're heading. So that's why it's so important for you to start working on the big idea and get some clarity into that. So just to get started, begin with the end in mind. We say go as far as you can see, and before you get there, you'll see even further. So just write down, start jotting down where you would like to be in both those areas, you and your business. And it can turn into a whole lot of fun. And don't be dismayed if you can't think too far, okay? Just work on what you can see now, because as you get closer and as you think about this more, you're going to start to see further. So when we talk about the end in mind for your business, there's generally 5 ways that you're going to exit your business. So have a think about these. Write down the one that means the most to you. You're going to sell your business. And we want you to work a business to a level where you'll sell it for a lot of money, some millions of dollars. It's very possible. You can merge your business with someone else. You can build your business so it will work without you and it's paying you, although you don't have to be there on a day-to-day basis. This is what T-Way is all about. This is what we believe in, and this is what we work with people to achieve. You can gift your business to your family, and that could be work well. When you've got people you're grooming through your business to take over, maybe sons or daughters or relatives. Or the 5th option, you close the doors and walk away because it just didn't work, because you just did not get your business to the level where it was worth doing any of the other 4 options with. So which one of those is the big idea, or will start to form a picture in your mind of the big idea for your business? So then when you're starting to you're working through the worksheet and you're putting those ideas down, we're talking about long-term sustainability to get there. So we're talking about what do we need to do to achieve our big idea. And in this, we've got the 10 Ps. So the 10 Ps are pragmatic plans, okay, providing clear direction for you. Number 2, proven methods of gaining new business. Number 3, a point of difference. Point of difference that has people flocking to your door. Number 4 is proven systems. Systems that will lead your business to working without you being there. We want number 5, powerful people. People that are empowered and rewarded to make it happen, to run the business, to follow the systems, to follow everything you've got in place that makes your business successful, but you don't have to be there. Number 6 is persistent follow through. So this is doing everything that you need to do to get a business to work without you. So this is about being persistent, what you need to learn, what you need to get good at, not giving up. Number 7 is progress, identifiable and measurable. So this is about measuring your progress, measuring your critical numbers, knowing what you need to be achieving to get to your big idea. Number 8 is perfect outcomes, where all your goals are achieved. So we want to be measuring all the logical steps on your progress to where you want to be, to your big idea. Number 9 is having that picture book lifestyle. It's living the way you've always wanted, and that's the big idea for you. And number 10 is prospering without being there. Now, isn't that a great idea? And that's what building a business without you, that works without you, is all about. So if you can have all these 10 P's working in harmony in your business, you are going to be successful. So when this is your objective, when you want this to happen, you're going to have to be doing what your big idea requires and not just what you feel like doing. People that do what they feel like doing are goldfish in a bowl. They're not doing what the business needs them to do to get to their big idea. And when you're linked into your big idea and emotionally connected to your big idea, it's a clear pathway to where you want to be. So to succeed, we need all of the principles of T-Way that we've incorporated into the program to be working together to build a business that will eventually work without you. So the big idea isn't just an arrival point. Big idea is about the entire journey, and it's the meaning and purpose behind the journey. And it's driven by the lifestyle you desire. It takes time, effort, and energy. It takes the use of your creative imagination, and it's the one thing we can become passionate about, and it brings out our very best while we're achieving something that we really want. So why is defining your big idea really important? Why is it important to have a big idea? Why is it important to know why a big idea is so useful in your business? Why is it important to define it, to begin with the end in mind, and to work out how and put in place everything that you're going to need to achieve from where you are now to your big idea? So write down, why is it important to you having a big idea? Write it down on how it will benefit you. What's it going to do for you? And write down how it will benefit your business. So let's decide right now. I want you to make a decision that you're going to work on getting really clear about your big idea for you and work on getting really clear about the big idea for your business. So go through the worksheets. What we've done in this module is tell you what a big idea is. We've told you why it's so important to have a big idea. We've told you how to define the big idea for you and your business and how to begin with the end in mind. We've also given you the 10 P's on how to achieve your big idea and get from where you are now to where you want to be. So I want you to say, right, I'm on my way. I'm going to define my big idea and write down why. What will happen when you use it? What impact will it have on your business? What will happen if you don't use this? What are the consequences of you and your business if you don't use it? So remember, I'm here to help you every step of the way. Reach out on the Facebook group if you need any help or have any questions whatsoever. I'm here to help you build a business that will eventually work without you and achieve the lifestyle of your dreams. That's what it's all about, and I look forward to being on this journey with you. So download the worksheets if you haven't already. Start working on your big idea. Let me know if you need any help in the Facebook group, and I'll see you in the next video.